So, because you play Druid, I want to take us through some Druid stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I can kind of talk through whether or not I agree with their general philosophy.
Well, there is what they've kind of outlined here.
Yeah.
Saying that it's a great opportunity to let the Druid explore the flexibility inherent to the class. In many ways, the affinity concept from Legion through Shadowlands was anticipating something that we're hoping to re-emphasize. That you've got the ability to, like, choose elements of the various different, like, roles and shape-shifting, sort of forms. The idea is that now, sort of expanded into the class talent tree that's got paths relating to every spec, where deeper investment obtains more of that spec's fundamental buttons. Various utility in CC are placed in optional locations of every branch, as well as in a central location that is easy for every spec to access, and they hope that this means that every spec can play in a somewhat traditional manner, where it fills out the complete path laid out for it in the sorry, this is really dense. In the core tree, and then pick up a choice of miscellaneous utility or a more customized manner where it reaches deeper into other specs paths. Basically, hybrid more.
Yeah, that's exactly what it appears to me. It's like
That's what it looks like.
Yeah, without being able to look sort of closely at it, you see, obviously, there's a lot of stuff on the left-hand side of the class tree that you will feel like you need if you want to be, say you're at the minute a Resto Druid with Feral Affinity who wants to catweave in combat, then that's the kind of case where you're going to need to go over there and pick a lot of that stuff up.
But I guess because some of these, the 8 required and the 20 required, it does still mean you're going a little bit more broad. Like if you're just going straight down left, you'd have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and now you have to spend 3 more somewhere else, which I guess could be these, but you know what I mean, right?
Yeah, that's the awkward thing where it's, well, I say awkward thing, that's the thing
point,
that's,
I guess.
Yeah, it's the thing that's difficult to be able to parse when you're looking at this, but like in the awkward to understand, but when you get into it and start to play with it, it'll actually be kind of ideally meaningful stuff. Like the idea of being able to pick MAME there is interesting, because you're like, okay, well, I can have MAME, sweet, or maybe I could not have MAME, and then instead I could maybe pick up, that was unfortunate because Solar Beam is in the balance tree. But, you could spin different stuff there. Like, the idea that Feline Swiftness is, like, you can just not take the extra move speed. And maybe you could take MAME instead of that. Maybe you could take, like, Skull Bash in there. That's interesting where, actually, they say, I'm assuming that's Skull Bash. I'll just double check in case they haven't changed that. Skull Bash. Yeah, so that's Skull Bash, which means over in the left in the middle, the red thing. Yes, that. So you could take that as a Balance Druid, and then you could swap to Interrupt. So you could have that without taking Solar Beam and be able to priority Interrupt.
Yeah.
Or you could just take Solar Beam instead and not, or have that as an extra option. I'm trying to pick out specific things, but even the idea that you can focus more on, say you're how to put this? Yeah, I mean, that's an example. You're a Balance Druid. Do you want to be able to catweave? I don't know why you'd want to catweave as a Balance Druid, but if you want to catweave as a Balance Druid or a Guardian Druid, or spec in more into healing, to get more healing stuff out for off healing, but in a more, I guess, interesting way than pick the affinity. That'll do it for you. Hard to know until you get into that. Also, Leader of the Pack's back. Hang on, let me just check if that's actually Leader of the Pack.
You are so good at icons. I have an awful fucking memory.
Yeah, no, I've been playing Druid on and off since I first started the game. So
yeah, I would do it.
Yeah, like Druid's the one where this is the most exciting, I think. Yeah. At least conceptually to me, because it's like it's already got the hybridization, so you can get it. No, Leader of the Pack's beside Heart of the Wild, I think. Actually, let me just check. Row 9, row 10. That's Furor. Okay, that's Furor. There you go. When you shift into a form, it's Furor, yeah. Abilities cost no rage, energy, astral power, or mana for 4 seconds. When you shift into a form you haven't been for 20 seconds. So does that mean you could be a Boomkin, or say if you wanted to, this is purely just hypothetical. You could, this is weird actually. Assuming this works, if you say they're like, you don't want to pick, something like Heart of the Wild or Nature's Vigil, something, you just want to go, I'm a Resto Druid. every 20 seconds, I'll hit Boomkin, and for 4 seconds, I will mash Star Search. Then I'll go cat form, and I'll try to get a rip out with 5 combo points in 4 seconds if you've got Primal Fury and stuff like that.
Shit.
Then that means you could have that kind of every 20-second thing. Just rotate these things. That's kind of interesting. That'd be really cool. See, I think this is really cool, and hopefully it works out that way. Also, Nature's Vigil being back is pretty cool too. Pretty cool.
There's a lot of potential.
Yeah.
There's like a lot of potential to get a lot more out of these classes and specs. I don't know if it'll be fully realized.
Yeah, that's the major problem.
But I'm feeling pretty good about it.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Blizzard, please in future, right? Could you do this about 4 p.m. BST? maybe 3 p.m. Give us time to like digest this and say, hello, here is our distilled take. We've thought about it. Because there's a lot of information to condense. Udyr from League, exactly, Ollie. That's exactly what it feels like. Udyr just is stance watching. That's class. That's great. Yeah.
I don't like too much else new and a similar design philosophy. So I think that's most of it for Talons. Basically, they're just talking about what they can achieve now. Sort of design changes. And I think for new players, it's like the thing that's maybe not talked about much or enough, because we're all people who have had max level characters for a long, long time.
Yep.
But I think this is all going to be very, very good for new people. They're just going to...
Massively, yeah.
It's going to feel so much more rewarding. They're going to understand things so much more. Like, yeah. New player experience is just so important, right? So...
Yeah. I think...
good shit.
For the purposes of people having a takeaway, I think the takeaway is, this is good so far. Thinking about it.
Yeah, there will undoubtedly be nitpicks. I've already seen some on Twitter and all of that. Yes, that's going to happen. And it's good that it happens. They've actually tweeted about wanting that to happen. So, yeah, I mean, this is a bit more open than development tends to be. I really like that. And, I mean, we are going to be getting waves of feedback and iteration on this, like, already, even before the alpha. So, sweet.
Good, yep.
Sweet. Okay. Tals, I think a nice little win.
Absolutely.